I'm live. Hey everyone. My name is Surge. I play Pokemon Go often and upload onto YouTube often my gameplay, just using my phone recorder. But this is now me on my Chromebook doing a little recording. I'm not going to edit this video, even though good YouTubers do that. I wanted to talk today about how playing Pokemon Sword um, really helped me finish my PhD. I figure it's a good time to do this. I'm inspired by Philip Guo. He wrote a something on um, the PhD memoir. I think that's what his document's called. That's available online for free. Um, there's another mention I should make. I can't remember exactly what it is right now, but maybe I'll bring it up as the video moves forward. So it's a little grainy too. That's okay. I'm just gonna dive into the topic here, which is how Pokemon Sword, how the plot specifically helped me finish my PhD. Um, and I'm not sure it was motivation so much as helping me kind of reframe the content. So my PhD research, my field is psychology, and my topic was at that time very heavily focused on climate change, uh, which I chose originally because it was a huge topic in the news. I wanted a big problem to work on and really solve. Um, that was my mindset back then. Um, and it turns out a lot of psychologists have done research on how to mitigate climate change and how we make climate change worse and so on. So I chose that as my environmental problem of choice. But as I was playing through Pokemon Sword, this was I was close to finishing my dissertation proposal. I remember being in my ex-girlfriend's place while she was at work, and I was just sitting there binging Pokemon Sword. I must have beaten that game in like 2 days because I played for hours on end. Um, when I told my ex that, she was like, "Did it help you like spending your day that way?" And yeah, it did. It really did. Um, the way it helped was in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I don't want to give spoilers away, but those games have been out for like 2 years now, so or a year and a half, I think. So why not? In Pokemon Sword, um, I'm wearing a shirt that's appropriate for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Anyone who's played through the games or knows Leon will know this shirt, but um, climate change is like kind of I don't know if it's directly or indirectly implicated in those games. I think it might be directly tied in some of the Pokédex entries. I'm thinking of Galarian Weezing and Corsola, who became the way they were as a result of um, the Galar region's environmental challenges. Galar is the region in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's the name of the country, basically. It's based on Britain. So number one, I did really appreciate the what I think is Daisy or brown presence of characters in those games, but that's a bit of a tangent, just personally relevant for me. But um, the plot of the game revolves around you as the main character trying to complete your gym challenges, but it turns out that um, this influential guy named Chairman Rose he believes that Galar is going through an energy crisis, and he wants energy to be abundant for everyone. So he's a sustainable energy guy, which is cool. But the way he goes about trying to reach maximum energy for everyone is not the greatest way to do it. He tries to sort of exploit a Pokemon that has been dormant named Eternatus, and he tries to harness its power, but he can't control it, or he shouldn't. One of those. Um, This is also relevant to the Netflix adaptation of Sword and Shield. He tries to do the same thing, and as the protagonist, you're sort of expected to stop him. Um, in the anime's case, it's Ash and Go who have to stop him. It's Ash specifically. So anyway, Chairman Rose is freaking out about climate change. Is this as in the game? It's a problem that's 1,000 years into the future, I believe. And Leon, the guy wearing the shirt I'm wearing right now, he's like, "Dude, why are you freaking out so much? I mean, can we like?" Chairman Rose wants to stop this big Pokemon tournament that's going to happen, and Leon is like, "Do we really have to stop the tournament that's happening tomorrow to save the world 1,000 years into the future?" And Rose is like, "No, we have to solve this now. We have to, we have to solve the energy crisis." And it's like, okay. So Leon doesn't agree with that. And it is, I think, worth bringing up that Chairman Rose, it has to be like in his 30s or so, late 30s perhaps, maybe mid 30s, if not older. But Leon appears to be like a 20-year-old guy, and you're like a 10-year-old kid. So I think age is relevant. I think older people tend to maybe take climate change more seriously. Us younger folk are still like, what is that? Or, what do we do about that? And we're like kind of running with our heads chopped off, it seems like at some points. Not to get too graphic with this video, but anyway, so Rose is freaking out about this. He mishandles the Pokemon Eternatus, and it's your job then to sort of defeat Eternatus as it's going on a rampage, using some ancient allies, these two wolf Pokemon, Zacian and Zamazenta. So their names aren't important there. I just bring them up as a kind of tie-in. It's like you're the hero of Galar, and you have to save your country, really, and by extension the world, from Eternatus blowing it up with its infinite energy. So my dissertation for my PhD was heavily focused on climate change. I was still working on my proposal when those games came out, and I guess that Game Freak found that climate change was a good problem to work with in its indirect capacity. Because that's the thing about climate change, is it's projected to be this sort of, if we don't do something about it now, then the future is going to suck kind of thing. But I think there was a powerful lesson in Sword for me, which is, don't freak out about it. That's only going to lead to worse decision making. It's going to lead to drastic actions that ultimately aren't right, which is what Chairman Rose does. And so this is a PhD memoir for me, as much as it is a sort of call for people my generation, perhaps more specifically, to look at the science. Don't just, as much as you can. A lot of the science on climate change is open source, actually. I recognize not everyone is trained in the science of reading science, but at least for my fellow PhDs, and maybe more specifically my fellow PhDs who are Pokemon fans, the lesson for me would be, don't turn your back on childhood hobbies that you might have some kind of deep involvement with that might seem silly to people. Your friends might be like, why are you so into it? Don't take that stuff for granted. And as you're taking breaks from your research, if you do, which you will unless you're an edgelord, really pay attention to the way that the topics you're grappling with manifest in the media that you consume. Because I think you might find, like I did, that the two are intimately tied. And they're tied in a way that can teach you a lesson about your subject matter. And so in my case, I backed away a bit from climate change after playing Sword and beating the game. I turned more to environmental problems in general, and I used climate change as just a case problem of what I was looking at more broadly. So for me, that's how that worked. I didn't just drop climate change as a problem, because in the literature I was engaging with, nobody would do that. It was social and environmental psychology and eco psychology, and all those fields take climate change seriously. They take it for granted, but they take it seriously. I almost said for seriously. Um, I watched South Park and Al Gore, and they did a follow up episode to the Man Bear Pig one. So that's another. But that was after I defended my dissertation. I watched the follow up there anyway, but maybe that deserves its own video. I'm not trying to appeal to Pokemon and South Park and PhDs. All of those interest groups with one video. So maybe I'll do that later, but for now I just thought I'd drop a little bit of a memoir as my PhD comes to a close and as maybe other PhD stories begin. So don't turn your back on the stories that have gotten you to where you are now. I guess that's the takeaway here. And don't be, if you're challenged about why you're doing what you're doing, just think about it. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you just playing a game to like be mindless, or are you doing it because your intuition is actually leading you in the right direction? Toward a perhaps more healthy engagement with your project, and perhaps even a reframing of said project. I think that's fair game. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you're a PhD student or graduate, either good luck or yay, you did it, or please hire me, whatever. I don't know. And if you're a Pokemon fan, power to play and keep playing, game on. And yeah, that's all I have. So maybe I'll do a little Man Bear Pig follow up and sort of tie climate change in with that from a environmental psychology perspective. So peace out. Watch my other Pokemon Go videos. Niantic does Earth Day celebrations. That's cool. Even though, activities like uploading videos or storing data in general do contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. So who am I to judge? All right.